Hi guys, my name is Adam. I am guitarist number 2 of Beneath the Shadows. This is attempt number 2 of recording a little analysis video of our debut single, Will You, Won't You Die? So we wrote this song. This was the first ever song we ever wrote, and it came pretty much just through a single jam in a rehearsal session when we first started out. Can't remember how long exactly we were a band or how long exactly we had been rehearsing before we came up with this, but yeah, it was the first original composition we ever had. So yeah, I'm going to just kind of listen through it with you, go through some points and just kind of go into depth about some technical stuff, some techniques that we used, mainly from a guitarist point of view. I'll probably comment on the drums as well a little bit and the bass, just kind of talk through different stuff about the song that I think are pretty cool. So when we decided we wanted to write something new, Brandon, our vocalist, basically just said, okay, come up with a riff. Someone come up with a riff. And the first thing I thought of was this little clean, we call it an arpeggio. Arpeggio is basically a chord separated to its separate notes. So if I play a C chord, like a C power chord, like. So if that was an arpeggio because I played the note separately, but the chord would be played like this. So that's a chord, and an arpeggio would be just the notes played separately. But the arpeggio that I came up with sounded like this. If I can remember how to play it. Yeah, you get the gist. And then, so we kind of just built off of that. We improvised a chorus, a bridge, a middle 8 section. And by the end of the jam, we had basically the skeleton of a new song. And this is the result right here. So, Will You, Won't You Die? Got some nice little ride cymbal work from Anwar over the top of my arpeggio guitar. Even this drum groove from Anwar on the drums was what he played originally in the jam. Completely off the top of his head. This tends to be how we write our songs these days, is just by jamming it out. So this bridge was completely off the top of my head while we were jamming. And the chorus. And Anwar on the drums goes crazy on this song as well, especially in the chorus, and I think it's sick. I think a lot of people, when they hear a chorus like this, they think the drums should be relatively like forward pushing, like Anwar doesn't think like that. And what he does in this chorus is actually awesome. He's got some fill works going in, some little bits of double kick coming in as well. Yeah, and from a guitar point of view, all we're really doing is playing power chords, right? So power chord is just the first note of a scale, and the 5th note of a scale played together like this. Obviously with distortion it sounds a lot better, so usually it's played with the octave above as well. So the chorus obviously is a lot just power chords just played. There's a little bit of a riff there that I came up with. Just basically a little bit of a melody just to liven up the riff a bit. I don't usually like just playing power chords. I think it's really, really like a punk rock thing to do, and I hate it. I don't usually like doing that kind of thing. I like riffs that have like at least some sort of melody to them. So that was kind of me just putting my own little thing on the riff just to make it a little bit more interesting. And yeah, that's basically all this first chorus is, just power chords. Brandon did a great job with the lyrics on the song. And with the vocals. Big ring out on the last chorus, on the last chord. Drum fills to fill in the gaps. So a little bit something different in this verse is the bass that comes in. I thought that was something that our bassist brought in, but apparently Brandon reminded me that actually it was something that he wrote in MIDI before we even had a bassist. Again, just something different as a nice little texture in the second verse, because we want something different out of both the verses to give it like obviously there's repetition in having the two verses there, but having something interesting in both of them just kind of keeps the liveliness in it, I think. Anwar does something super cool on the drums actually in the bridge. He does it in both bridges actually. It's coming up here. Big fill here. So before in the verse he was just playing 16th note on a hi-hat. 16th notes is just how we measure out the note length. So you've got quarter notes. Well, yeah. So you've got whole notes, half notes, quarter notes, eighth notes, 16th notes. You can also get 32nd notes, 64th notes, but they're just like ridiculously fast. Basically, the smaller the fraction, the faster the notes are. So a quarter note is half of an eighth note, and it's eighth note is twice as fast. 16th note is twice as fast as an eighth note. Yeah. So he's doing 16th notes on the hi-hat in the verse, and then we move into the bridge here, and he's splitting the 16th notes across his hi-hat and his ride, and it just opens the whole thing up brilliantly. He did he always does an amazing job on our songs. Yeah. Just something a little cool from a drummer's perspective that I think is really cool. Yeah, so second bridge. Such a powerful chorus. And we decided, I'm not sure if we did this for the first chorus originally, but if you listen to this second chorus, there's Andreas, our guitarist number 1, our lead guitarist, is doing a little guitar lead line. I don't know how to play it. He knows how to play it because he plays it. Anyway, but yeah, he's playing something up here. I don't know how to play it, but essentially it's just fast arpeggios and scales, just kind of going up and down, and it kind of just follows the chord progression. And I think it definitely provides more of an energy into the chorus, where before it was very forward going, and slow and anthemic. This melody line that Andreas puts in it just kind of gives more of an energy to the chorus, gives it an intensity that it didn't have in the first chorus, which I think having the differences in the first and second chorus like that is also something that we like to do in our songs, to try and keep the intensity up across the song. Like if it's the same the whole way through, it's just boring as hell. Yeah, so second chorus. Alright, we get to the breakdown. So here, originally I just played a really sort of chuggy, palm muted pre-breakdown thing. It sounded like this. Sounded like that. By the way, palm muting, for those who don't know, essentially what I'm doing is, instead of letting the note ring out like that, I can rest my picking hand, the palm of my picking hand, across the bridge on my guitar. You can't see it, but that's what I'm doing, and it mutes the strings on the bridge end, and gives it like a chuggy kind of texture. So that's how we get like that's called palm muting, and that's how we get a lot of the chuggy like sounds in metal. Yeah. So I'm doing this sort of just an open, and Brandon comes in. He decided he was going to make the bass play an open G. On the bass, just a lower octave lower, so it sounds like that. And then the two of them together. So essentially we've got two different keys playing here. We've got me playing in drop C, and the bass is playing the fifth below that. Yeah. Not sure what you would call that. Anyway, but yeah, I think it's a super cool thing. Anwar comes in with a super cool bass drum build up, and then the main breakdown, pinch harmonics. That was another cool thing that you hear all of the time in metal. That squealing sound you can hear in the guitars. What that is when we strike a string with our picking hand, we very gently stroke the string that we're plucking with the flesh of our thumb. Literally just there. Right as we strike the string with the pick, the thumb strikes through the string as well at the same time, and it creates a harmonic. So rather than just playing a regular note, you can get a high pitched kind of squeal sound. We call it a pinch harmonic because we don't get the same kind of sound out of a natural harmonic, which sounds like more like this. But yeah, and also you can't really bend natural harmonics the same way as you can a pinch harmonic, unless you have a tremolo bar, which I don't have on this guitar, and I didn't have on my when I recorded the song. So yeah, pinch harmonics, another cool thing we get in metal. It's basically the thing that makes up metal these days. It's all over the place. I think it just sounds so evil. Again, just open chugging. Sometimes what I like to do here, if I go back a bit to the beginning of it, is I like to add a little pinch harmonic in the middle of the breakdown. No one really needs to know this. Just in halfway through. Right here. No one notices. I just think it's so funny. Yeah, and then we have a little drop, a little breakdown here. We like to put these kind of in our songs just to keep the songs interesting. Again, like I said, if it was all distorted guitars and fast drums the whole way through, it would be so boring. I say that, but we literally have a song called Fight Night that is basically that the whole way through. It's basically distorted guitars. I don't think there even is, like, the only breaks you get are like pauses, like between different sections of the songs. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, we do it for most of our songs where we kind of just give it a little clean drop, just to keep it interesting. This was also something that I just came up with on the fly while we were still jamming it out. And whilst slowly building it up on the drums. Playing the chorus. We double this up to get the guitar solo towards the end. Such a good chorus. Not to toot my own horn. Specifically from a vocal point of view, Brandon did a great job on this chorus. And then we have a guitar solo from Andreas, who's a fucking beast. So at the start of the guitar solo here, so he's bending the strings, so that's how we get like, that's how we avoid like just playing straight notes. We can bend the notes to adjust the pitch. So what he's doing here is basically bending the string to get a little pitch bend. And then what he does here next, go back a bit. He does a little. So that whole run was finger picking. Well, not finger picking, finger tapping. So what you do on the guitar sometimes, if I show you. Sometimes you on a guitar you can play with both fingers on both hands on the fretboard, and it's just a way of like playing lots of notes really fast. Most of the time, like Van Halen was famous for doing it. One of my favorite guitarists of all time is Steve Hackett. He does it a lot. He did it. He's done it on a lot of stuff. And that's what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing actually specifically, but he's basically something like that. Just running it up the neck of the guitar. And then yeah. That's just a really fast scale. Again, I don't know exactly what it is he's playing, and I can't be bothered to figure it out right now. That right there. So that's a really like this. We like to do this as guitarists, adding like it's called dissonance. It just sounds really like tense and not. It just sounds odd, but like brilliant, like evil. I don't know how else to describe what this sounds like. Like if you heard this, like it just sounds horrible, but in the right context, it sounds brilliant. Something like that is what he plays. He does. That was a really bluesy run. So he wrote that guitar solo, and when we first heard it, like he wrote that song. He wrote that guitar solo in his room, without sharing it with us. He shared it with us on WhatsApp. And when we first heard it, we were all like, "Holy cow, that's a guitar solo!" He's a beast on the guitar, honestly. And that's the end of the song. just back to my old. Fun fact for Brandon, who's going to be editing this. That interval there, we call it intervals when you play two notes next to each other. We call it an interval. That interval there is we call it an augmented fifth, because that's the fifth. That's the fifth note in the scale of G minor. But when we raise it up by a semitone, we call it augmenting it, because it's like the chord is like getting longer, and that's like to augment something is to like make it longer or something like that. So yeah, augmented fifth for those who don't know. For Brandon, who probably doesn't know. Little cool music theory fact. But yeah, that's the end of the song. So, considering that came out of a single jam session, I mean, obviously we cleaned it up a bit in like later rehearsals. Yeah, it was. We were very proud of it when we first put it out, and were able to get it out for the first time. We're definitely gonna try and put some more out soon. TM. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. It was probably really ranty, and Brandon's gonna have his work cut out for him for editing this, probably, especially since I think a couple of times I peaked on the mic. But yeah, if this does get posted, let us know in the comments any songs that you think we should or I should get to analyzing, something I might not have heard before. I might just post some analysis videos of stuff that I have heard before, just for the fun of it. Yeah. Anything I have heard, anything I haven't heard. The band knows the kind of stuff that I listen to and what I don't tend to listen to, so they'll probably recommend me shit as well. But yeah. Adam Skidmore, second guitarist. Peace.